welcome to the UN Brief. I'm your host, Maya Plants. Today we interviewed Ambassador Jean-Marie Paugam, who is Deputy Director General at the World Trade Organization in Geneva. He's going to COP26, and we spoke about the treaties and agreements negotiated at the WTO and the role that the UN Sustainable Development Goals have in these negotiations and what's changing. Watch. Thank you for watching the UN Brief, and don't forget to subscribe. Which programs within the WTO are addressing the inclusion of topics of sustainability in the agreements and treaties that are negotiated?
Well, first of all, the WTO has in its mandate from what we call the Marrakesh Agreement from '94, which is the agreement creating the WTO. It has a sustainable development mandate. The role of the organization is to negotiate trade agreements which are compatible with sustainable development, and sustainable development is fully part of the mandate. We have a locus, which is a Committee on Trade and Environment, which is discussing those issues. Now, in terms of negotiation, that is rulemaking, we have one main negotiation ongoing, which is a negotiation on fisheries, which is directly responding to a sustainable development goal assigned to the WTO by the heads of states and government. It's namely a Sustainable Development Goal 14.6, which is contributing to the ocean preservation through the reform of harmful subsidies to fisheries. And this negotiation has been very, very, very long standing. It's very hard, and we are in the finish rush before our ministerial conference by the end of the month to try to conclude this agreement. It's not completely there, but I think the negotiation is intensifying very much. And if we deliver on that, that will be our first and major delivery on sustainable development goals.
And how is the work of the WTO supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
Well, as I said, multilaterally, there is no negotiation today which is aiming at harnessing trade in favor of sustainable development goals. There are many talks in our Trade and Environment Committee, which are exchanges of best practices and about environmental policy, but not so much action. Now, a group of our members, several groups of our members are moving into the direction, and they will adopt those initiatives probably in 1 month from here when we have our ministerial conference. They are adopting or promoting plurilateral initiatives. As you know, plurilateral is less than everyone, less than multilateral. In fields as plastic, the struggle against plastic pollution, in fields as fossil fuel subsidy reform, which is directly relevant to climate change, and in fields like climate change and environmental good liberalization, which might be work stream, which will be undertaken under one initiative called Trade and Sustainable Development Structured Discussion. So today, the vehicle for the WTO serving the SDGs or the Sustainable Development is more going to be plurilateral at this stage than multilateral, but that's a start.
And what's planned for WTO's participation in COP26? I understand that you are going to be there.
I'm going to be there. My DG is already there participating to the leaders segment. And we are going to contribute to the discussion with these ideas that I've been already hinting at in our discussion, which is, climate change was not an issue for the WTO till now. Now the paradigm is shifting. The World Bank recently established that trade was correlated with 25% of global emission, which is not absolutely a surprise because trade represents 25% of GDP. So 25% of human activity generates 25% of global emission. The relation between trade and climate change is quite complex because in some respect, trade generates emission and aggravates the problem of climate change. But in other respects, trade mitigates, helps disseminate the technologies which have a positive impact on climate change. Same thing for adaptation. So our message at COP26 is going, as a WTO Secretariat, is going to say that we need to look into those interactions and start harnessing trade for the benefits of to support the struggle against climate change. And here the plurilateral initiatives that our members are proposing may fall into place to provide a positive and concrete contribution to that struggle.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Paugam, Deputy Director General at the World Trade Organization here in Geneva. Thank you very much, Ambassador. And good luck with the conversations in Glasgow.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the UN Brief. I'm your host, Maya Plants. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching the UN Brief.